Right, ladies and gents, as you see, I've just got the first part of the shelter put up. More than adequate for the old quick rain shower. Get yourself underneath there and that. And looking at it from a distance, you can see how well it does actually blend in. A lot of brown in there. Brown is a very underrated camouflage colour. So I'm just going to walk forward now. And when the sun shines directly on this, or it comes through the tree canopy, the camouflage gets better and better, to be perfectly honest. But here we see it, final visualization of it. 3 meters along the bottom, roughly 2.5 along the top. I cut the ends off so I can take the sides in to give me more cover. Now, I designed this only to be better than a military tarp. It probably weighs the same as a DD 3x3 light, and it's meant to be very portable. Always have it with you. You're probably not going to carry it in a smock, but you can carry it 2-part system in the bottom pockets of your smock if you wanted to, ladies and gents. I strung it up on a ridge line. Again, as you'll see, even there the distance between the two isn't that bad really, is it? I think this does really well against the woodland. See, when the sun comes out, it just looks a lot better, doesn't it? Oh, I'm proper getting a boner on now. As we can see, there's nothing flash, nothing fancy on that. That's just a little lean-to shelter, part 1, used on its own. Ridge line, couple of pressing knots. And what was a really good idea, I'm going to do with all my tarps from now on. So the little loop upon that, so you don't get that big bend that you come out like you do with a normal tarp on a ridge line. So that's my little lamp thingy bob. And again, I've put them every so far apart, and they are really working. And there we see just at the end. Right, so that's how it is, ladies and gents. Super. It's German World War II oak leaf camouflage pattern, or a variation very close to. Certainly good enough for the reenactors. They get excited about all this. Dead hard to get hold of this camouflage pattern. Lovely waterproof, and it is in a ripstop material, which is always nice. Not sure if the ripstop, I've still got some of my chalk lines on there, but if you can see the ripstop in there and that, ladies and gents. And yeah, it's just coming off at a nice angle. Part 1 of the shelter. I'll bring you back for part 2, ladies and gents. I'm thinking that's really blending in quite well as tarps go. Right, ladies, to show you this 2-part system. I could have quite easily made a 3x3 tarp over it, out of this, but I've got 3x3 tarps coming out of every orifice. But as we walk along, I'll just chuck this on the floor. I've literally just walked over the second part, ladies and gents. How well does that just... I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's not. But that don't stand out that bad, does it? Especially if I just grab some leaves and throw it over that now to break up the actual outline of it. That is quite a kinky, sexy little Gucci camouflage pattern. And there she is up against the light. Oh. Anyway, I'm going to get this part up. Actually, I'm going to bring my sides in first, just to see what the score is on that. Right, ladies and gents, as you can see now, that side's vertical. That side's still going out because I haven't pulled that side round. What I designed it to do was to give me more coverage than an average tarp, is pull that side round. And as you can see, that, oh, we got a siren in the background, haven't we? Oh, bless. As you can see from there, let's just pull that round to give you a little bit more coverage on either side should you need it. Bearing in mind from there all the way down to there is well over 6.5 feet. David Fry's has been in there, laid down, and as you know, he's quite a tall lad, so even when the sides are pulled in, you've still got plenty of coverage for you and your Bergen underneath there. But yeah, what I'm going to do is just show you, if you don't know how, because the ground's going to be different on nearly every occasion to pull that round. You'd think you just pull the side round and peg it in, well you can't, because the angles all just change, the geometry I can't even say it, let alone spell it. So I've worked out a way that's fairly easy to get it so it is quite adaptable, adjustable, and I'll show you on this side. Right, ladies and gents, as you see, what I've done is taken a little bit off the top and come down at an angle. And the easiest way I've found or worked out so you can be adjustable on how much you pull it in. Now that's the little chalk mark where it hits the ground, ladies and gents. Here's a little tightwad secret for you. And just to keep it simple and keep it lightweight, all I've done is bar tacked some 550 paracord. There's the mark, so that's the middle, so I can go up and in more or come out more should I worse to do. And all you do is get your tent peg, you pull it through and peg her in like that, ladies and gents. And again, that's how it goes. Or if I wanted to pull it in nearer, I put it through the one at the top and pull it in a little bit closer or further out if I need be. That will allow for the adjustment in the ground if it's not level, and still keep it nice and taut and coming round. And that little bit at the bottom now, I'll just throw it underneath, so the rain just comes down off everything and then just drops around. Yeah, nice one. I'll get that pulled round in a minute. But this camouflage is well looking better the more the sun gets on it. Oh, yeah, love it. Proper camouflage tart. Right, ladies and gents, all I've done is the second part. I'll put it on. Two press knots side by side, a little bit of wood from the floor. And it's completely overhanging the first structure, so it will make it totally waterproof. Little roof section. Couple of go out lines, that one needs to be a little bit tighter, and a go out land there, and one in the middle that comes straight down to my original tent peg. So I'm still using no more stuff than I would do if it was a 3x3, but I'm just loving that camouflage. I mean, it's just, even like my Julie, I said that's lovely, she said that's lovely fabric, you know. I sent some pictures of her. She always takes the mick out of me, and she goes, Eddie, it's not a tent, it's half a freaking teepee. Like, it's a lady I work with, and even she's come back. I sent some photos around on WhatsApp. You know, I thought she'd taken a mick, and she went, oh, I love that material. No, ladies and gents, that camouflage is bang on it, as far as I'm concerned. And as you can see, you're going to be inside there. You've got a lot of protection from the wind. That overhangs more than enough to stop any rain, you know, coming down at an oblique angle and getting you in there. Here we go, ladies and gents. It's nothing too fantastic. Little stick there. I'll put a stick in the middle just because the wind was catching it. But as we see, I'm not going to keep it a secret. That needs to be pulled out a little bit more like that. There's a tie-out part. What? That's, I don't know, 20 centimetres in from this side. I'll put a tie-out pan there. And as we can see, ladies and gents, there's more than enough coverage to keep that over and keep that pulled down tight. Wherever I did there, let's just loosen that up a bit anyway. So that's kind of working. So there's no, the water's just going to run straight off, and there's more than enough coverage over that. But if I get a good gust of wind, what will happen is the wind will, I just want to step on my tarp, as opposed to acting like a big sail, the wind will come through there, ladies and gents, okay? It will come through there. And I'm loosening, well, it's actually doing it now. So it's not going to, something I hadn't thought about, the wind will come through that, either through the bottom of it and through that improvised roof, whatever we want to call it. And yeah. So I've got plenty of admin area underneath here. Absolutely plenty, and you can see how much that hangs over. If needed be, I could drop that down a little bit, but I wouldn't think I need to. But for me, that is working. So I'm not going to stop filming. And as we can see under there, you could have all the hula girls in there having a dance, ladies and gents. Attached it to a tree, with old school, with a bungee, because the tree was near. Doesn't need this in, but this can be set up itself individually as a tarp, an A-frame tarp, very low to the ground, sleeping bag underneath it. So both shelters can be used individually and together. But all I did on this was just stuck that stick over there, and it's just a stick on the floor, because all it was doing was catching the wind. Now see the wind going in, it's going in and over as opposed to dragging it. But obviously if it got too windy, I've got tie points all along here, and I just tie that to the ground, literally. And then if it was raining, any water would on this top sheet would come to that and come down there, and there'd be a big pot underneath there, and I'd be collecting me water, especially if I didn't have any water. But yeah, I could get that to come down a little bit. But yeah, you see what I mean, ladies and gents? The wind's going straight through there, and I like that. That wasn't by design either, I must say. That's just an ad hoc thing there. I think if it got really windy, I would need to go around and tighten up all my little tie-outs, but we'd all need to do that. But ladies and gents, here we see the old Mac Tightwad 2-part shelter. And Al has come over, and I think he's started dribbling. Al, did you start dribbling over the camouflage? Yeah. Very. Even Julie said that's lovely fabric, didn't she? Yeah. What she means is it's nice camouflage, but she doesn't know about. I mean, she supports Tottenham, bless her. So she, I mean, used to weekly disappointments. No, ladies and gents, it's sailing up in the wind a little bit, but that's easy enough to do. Like I say, I pull it down, and that'll make a lovely water catchment that as well. But I just think the 2-part shelter, it's a philosophy I think we may have lost. Just keep it really simple and it will probably work, won't it? And it does seem to be working here, ladies and gents. If that wind got any worse, obviously I'd tie her down a bit more, but see that? The wind's going to come through there as I've taken the whole thing. If that was sewn together, that would just act like a massive great big sail, as in sailing ship sail. Yeah, pulled my sides in. I'm proper rocking this, ladies and gents. I'm proper loving this. Yeah, so I can have them, you know, many different variations you can do on this. Certainly, it's like, oh, you can rig up any type to catch water for you. But yeah. There's the vinyl thing in this, and you see this where this one's a long one, ladies and gents. The second part of it. Oh, I've got to do it. I've got to do it. I've got to do it. I'm going to sew that underneath, so there's a channel that I can get a little Y stick, and I'm able to push paracord all the way through there. Yeah, and it will still connect in the same way as it is done there. And oh, can I just say, the next time you see this part, it will be a hammock. So I've got a 2-part shelter and an improvised hammock that I can use. And when I say a Y stick, I'll get one and just show you what I mean by that. So that will be literally that much shorter on each end, because I'm going to take it round, sew a channel there so I can push paracord all the way through. My knotted paracord comes off, goes round the tree, you know, in the middle. It will all be gathered on either end like a hammock is, and I'll be able to use that as an hammock as well. Oh. So there's 4 uses I've got out of this. Yeah, don't want to get too boring, don't want to keep this bit too long, but this camouflage is bang on it, and I like this design of shelter. It's like baker tent. I've got all the room underneath it in the world. It will keep me out of the elements. I can easily collect water on it. Mega windy. It's not really, wind will destroy anything, as we know, but that's more wind capable than I ever thought it would be, and that wasn't by design. I'm not going to claim that, but yeah, I am sort of loving this. Well, I think the last thing I'm going to do, ladies and gents, and again, I'm not going to bore you by showing you me doing it. I'm going to drop it so it's in sleeping formation or really severe weather, where that will just, it will be completely over, sealed, the roof effect, and then just bring it to the floor, and you'll be able to get in and out, and you'll be really lovely covered from the weather. So I'll bring you back and show you that, and that will probably bring this to an end. But yeah, that's going to be made into a hammock as well, and improvised. It'll do exactly what it's doing here. Also, I can thread paracord through both ends, knotted paracord, a little carabiner, a combat hom hammock. Yeah. Oh. Right, ladies and gents, here we can clearly see with the bit that comes over. As I say, I keep saying it, wind will come through if needed. Inclement weather, that's a posh word for me. You've got plenty of living room inside there, and even when it's brought down at quite a sharp angle, which is what you need and what you want, that works, doesn't it? Imagine being underneath there, ladies. You're snug as a bug in a little rug, and that's where generally I'd have my head there, sleeping that way. I'll just come through here, ladies and gents. You'll have lovely water run off that. But all I've done is dropped it to the ground, so you know, A-frame style. But yeah, that's it. A shelter in 2 parts that's got 3 or 4 different uses and setups and so forth. Lighter than a military tarp, a military basher. Camouflage. Alan's on one. He's proper. He proper wants one. But as he said, he'd prefer a 3x3. Right, ladies and gents, so I'll kind of leave it there. That's just my take on a shelter. But the thing is, I'll show you this when it's properly folded up. It's no bigger than a fist, both part, and you can literally, if needed be, you'd carry that in your bottom pockets of your smock, if there was a reason to, yeah. No reason why you couldn't, but the thing is with this, you've got to have it with you at all times, because you never know when things are going to turn a bit difficult situation. And even on that, if you imagine there's a ridgeline running down there, if that was really close to the ground, that'd be like uber tactical. Just get underneath that, so you just have it just off your face and just off your sleeping bag. That, which is 150 wide, you know, if you imagine that a ridgeline running all the way down there and it going down, oh, that's another little thing there. But yeah, it's also going to be able to do this, and I've had an idea. I'm going to say a channel down that side, and then I can use this as a hammock. Oh, and that little bit of the cut-offs and that, I could completely close off one side, and I will be aiming to do that, but I think what I'm going to do with that is perhaps make myself an A-frame bushcraft chair, and obviously not in this camo material, but now I've got a bit more time and I've been asked by that many people is to start knocking out a few of them bushcraft chairs and flog them onto people, you know, in your greens and your browns and so forth. That'll be my next video, I think. But ladies and gents, long old video, but yes, I don't suppose you see one of these every day. There's not that many people on the tube, you know, making their own stuff. I'm not saying I've completely come up with this design. I just, you know, you sit there and things come in your head, don't you? As you can see there, I mean, the trees need to be there, but they're in the way for filming. But you'll be proper smug as a bug in there, won't you? Yeah, all that room in there. And as Al said, if needed, I could also sew some paracord down there, so I could bring that side in a bit as well, you know, which is something I'll do. You know, that would just come in at an angle, so you had literally to go in it that way, and 90% of the wind coming in from the side you'd be protected from. Yeah, it's World War II camo, German oak leaf, I'm told. Well, I've done a bit of research on it. It's called different things by different people. I was going to say, like the old Germans, they certainly beat everybody at camouflage during World War II, but they had no hope in hell like we had at deception and deception plans and stuff like that. You know, they still had 3 divisions thinking we was going to come over on Calais, and Normandy was just a ruse. You know, we even rused Mr. Rommel because he refused to, you know, There could have been a lot more death and destruction on the D-Day beaches in Sicily and Operation Mincemeat and all that. No, we proper knew how to deceive them Jerrys. Yeah, but I'll just leave that. I'm proper loving that camouflage, ladies and gents. Yeah, the old Germans, they knew what they were on about, didn't they? Love it. I'm a bit of a camouflage tart. Right, ladies and gents, if you've watched this far, I hope you found it interesting, a little bit different. Gosh. Oh yeah, ladies and gents, as a little postscript, when I acquired this material, I also had the foresight to order 2 meters by 150 in 500D Codora nylon. So just looking forward, and you know, keep the interesting up, ladies and gents. I'm going to make myself a lovely rucksack out of this material, this camouflage, because I'm proper loving this. And again, it's not like mega. I think on an English woodland sort of floor, there's plenty of browns in it. It's showing up in the camera as more sort of dark earth than brown, but it's definitely a brown. I'm just loving that material. Yeah, Bergen rucksack. Oh, get on it, Mac, get on it.